You have people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge has been dispersed so beautifully, so balanced across the planet, on this planet ever, maybe in the universe. You have people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge have the full potential of achieving everything in the universe. There is no need and there is no reason for man not to achieve. So, wherever you are, the way I taught you to make the coils double coil inside, you have continuous equal gravitational magnetic field, and if you put CO2 on it, and you put zinc on it, you have connected the emotion of the man to it on a stable condition, and you'll find out you become a very peaceful man. Here, instead of having galaxies and universes and creating connection magnetically, we have used the matter state gravitational magnetic field strength to dominate and dictate the shape of the plasma. The nanotechnology, the nanomaterial which you have collectively developed in different ways, by caustic, by electric currents, by whatever, fire or whatever, has that advantage that the matter, the nano, and the plasma is all the same. So connection is very solid. It's very strong. The power of the plasma technology, the way we have thought, is beyond imagination of the mind. Now you can create and control the plasma, which is the mother of the creation of the universe. You are given the seed of the essence of the creation. The foundation does not belong to no one and is not made of one anymore. You are developing it. You are structuring it. And from today, we will be still the same. We'll still develop the technology in different names, in different colors, in different nationalities which they do not exist. It is beautiful when we see the Christian, the Muslims, the Jews, and every other belief are working together to build up systems. We have already become one faith. We already have become one nation, and we already have become one planet. You got to remember one thing. Dates is irrelevant. Today is the last day of the Christian calendar, or tomorrow is the beginning of another. One day is connected to another. We don't stop. We are working around the clock. The Keshe Foundation team is working irrespective of time, position, religion, country. And now we achieve what we set out for.
Welcome, everyone, to the 23rd International Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And today, once again, today is July 12th, 2016. Today, once again, we'll hear from Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation about the latest things going on in the world of planet Earth and maybe beyond, depending on how things go here. So without further ado, let's listen to Mr. Keshe. Are you there, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, good day, good afternoon, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to these teachings. As you know, we had to stop the teaching of last Thursday as we left the office on Wednesday afternoon after the medical teaching, going on the same route down towards Bari in Italy. One of us did not make home, and as you know, Fabio lost his life through a freak accident. But still, a week later, more or less 5 days later, we are no wiser how he lost his life than the day it happened. And in this process, Naomi, who was in the same car, is in the hospital in coma. We don't know what the state will be till they can take her out. I thank you for observing the 4 days of mourning for loss of Fabio. And you hear him. I spend days and hours every week with him here in this room or upstairs. He became part of the structure of our lives in the Keshe Foundation. We bless his soul, what he brought us. He brought a lot of joy. He brought a lot of wisdom. He brought a lot of changes. And in a very young body, he was extremely mature. We hope we can celebrate his life in the teachings to come. And we will see where we go with the newer structure, new ways, and what we receive from his soul to elevate ours, that maybe one day we achieve the position he achieved. In the teaching this morning, part of the teaching was about what is the interaction and what's the communication between us and what we teach. In the teachings, in respect to others in the universal community, I explained that in the coming week, what we were going to expand on last Thursday to open a new dimension, hopefully this Thursday we will do. We'll change the course of humanity. We know what is coming up. It's all set up to do, and we will change a lot of things in the teachings, not for our side, but for you to teach yourself and to understand how you operate within the environment of what is a universal community, which you are already part of, but you decided to ignore it. How we got to this point is part of the evolution of the man on this planet. And in that process, we have lost some information, we gain some information, we abuse some of the information ourselves, and we let others abuse it to control us. From Thursday, we enter a new dimension, what I call more or less the final point in production of systems which change the course of humanity. I've been warning for a few weeks. My teachings are over. We saw in the special teaching we had on a Thursday, in the second part, we opened the hand of the people, how they operate. They got very upset, and they gave us more information what we were expecting. In our research, we have opened the hand of a lot of people who operate in the background from the 2 hours of a special teaching, and this has given us the next step to literally finally on Thursday to bring everything to an end. But the interesting part is that the whole purpose of the 2 hours extra, what they call the special edition, was to create and bring the link between what was the past, how was controlled, and what is the future. And the response of the people we targeted was exactly what we wanted, because when they bring it on the table, they cannot claim they don't know. And we use the technique and tactic, and it's paid off. And then on coming time, you will understand more and more how, as humanity, we've been abused by people who call themselves better than us. Everybody has to have one color of hair. It's the way they believe in. And you see, to gain what I call single individual control, you destroy everything else. It's in the writing. We'll give you all the indications. You will understand how the process works, how we have allowed people who are incompetent to become leaders, be it the kings, be it the world leaders, being religious leaders, because they have sold their souls. And in the teachings to come, we show you how you can do, separate, understand, and elevate, or in a way put everything on the table for them to understand. You understand what they are. And as I said, in the teachings, in the private teachings, in the coming times, we'll see a lot of abdication, a lot of people, world leaders, being the kings, being the paymasters, and the rest will come to the front, because the technology we're going to teach will unravel the totality of it. It's your decision, not ours. How it comes is your position, not ours. On the other hand, we have to understand where, in a way, today we are. As part of the science, man has been controlled. As part of not understanding the true science, those who wanted to abuse the man have used the opportunity to achieve what they wanted. As I explained before, we teach and we have taught everything to bring all the knowledge of every man equal to the same point. To bring the understanding of all to one level, that in a coming time when we open what I call more or less the final phase of the space technology in taking man into universal community, a large number of people will understand what to do and take the leap across the planet. It's not going to be exclusive for those who have used the knowledge to abuse it or to control it. The structures like kingship, multiple corporations, and multinational organizations which control a lot of things in one go will not have much room in the coming time when you, as individuals, add your knowledge, and you can create a non-confidential which you don't confront. You just add to the soul of those who are lower. When you become head of a state and you structure murdering others for you to stay in position, when you become a president of the United States and you structure murdering other peoples, or you become the head of a country that you suppress, or a head of a religious organization, then you have taken from your soul. Then you have your soul low. The job of humanity from the teaching starting from more or less partially today, and the separation of last week from now, or 2 weeks ago from now, is not to destroy, is to elevate the soul of these, virtually what I call, if you look at it, the peasants of the soul. Even though it's the wrong word to use, peasants have a lot of respect. These people who have nothing, beggars, will come to beg for you to feed their souls, to elevate it. And then you'll find out through this process, none of them will stand to be the kings or the leaders, because in a way they have to face the reality of what they have created to keep their positions. In the teaching on Thursday, will open a book of science of man in a space that with it, those who've been in the position, what they've done, you shall see. Understand where we came from. Man was in a matter state, materialistic condition. And anyone in the past centuries, for thousands of years, who could bring the knowledge to elevate the man to be detached from the matter state was eliminated, imprisoned, or whatever has happened to them. Some of those who came closer to it, to open it, were publicly imprisoned, executed, and murdered. At this moment of time, up to today, I'm one of the very few who have stayed alive with all these programs preset. But on the other hand, in the coming time, what we teach, it'll tell you one thing. When you're in a space, who do you align with? Who are you loyal to? The planet Earth? Or to somebody who's a ruler of, or calls himself the head of a small part of this planet Earth? Or do you align with the soul of the planet in respect to the rest of the universal community? Then you understand nobody is in reality higher than you. You're equal in the level of the soul with every other man on this planet, and there is no kingship. And those who want it and abuse this position to make themselves king, and by killing and murdering people, they emphasize they become leaders out of the fear, but not the leaders out of the love of the people. And we change the game from now on. If there is someone who is to be leader, to lead man into universal community, will be chosen by the true love of man through the soul of the man, not by murdering the man to find position. In the coming time, we enter what we teach you as universal politics, which is no politics but the equality of everyone together. Does not matter you're from planet Earth, from planet Zeus, you come from the part of the universe. As your knowledge is equal to every other man, you are equal to every man across the universe. And this is what has been the objective of these teachings. If you go back to the original times of the teaching, I said something very simple. I take man into the universal community on equal basis to be equal with the others, and not through the lack of knowledge of the universe to become subordinates. And more or less, those of you who decide to become part of the structure of the universal community, you'll understand you don't join as people, group, or individuals who is lower than anyone else in the universe. If you are intellectually matured on the level of the soul, not the physicality, you'll find out you're equal to every other creature who's managed to travel the spans of the universe. If you have a jet plane, does it matter if it's made in Russia, made in America, made in China, or in Africa? It's all jet plane. They are passengers of this new technology, what we call the spaceship. Does not matter who developed it, which part of the universe comes from, as long as it brings you the knowledge of transportation in the universe to come to see, to learn about the evolution of the man and what are called the creatures of the universe is important. Up to now, you've been taught how to be separated, how to be separate to be better, but you haven't been taught how, doesn't matter what it is, come together to become one. Then you understand, in understanding the totality together, you're no different. We see Racism comes out of not understanding the reality. It doesn't matter what it is: color, language, nationalism, religion, even the air. So, in so many ways, with these teachings, we are putting an end to all this structure. We are not fighting it. We are delivering that with you elevating your own knowledge, you find out what the waste has been to create so much mayhem. Those who want to carry on with the mayhem, they will claim everything which is wrong with you because now they don't have no grip. Do we need leaders who unite humanity, or do we need leaders who kill and divide humanity? As long as we kill and divide, there is no elevation. When you unite, the forces will come to the point of eventual unification. Does not matter in what form or sense. My problem has been how, through the knowledge of the man who is so materialistic, to bring man in the world of universal teaching and plasma technology in past years. And in a way, a lot of job has been done. We have diverted with different ways to bring all of you into the position that in the coming time and in the teachings, you will understand more and more. If you look at it, we started, the favorite thing of the man was materialistic. What is the matter? Whatever it was, how much of it I can possess. The most precious thing to man at the moment was being able to use this matter for his communication. Is used more than gold, is used more than any other element. Attachment of the man to non-tangible, what do you call, copper. I used your weakness in the use of copper. You use it for communication line, you use it for energy transfer line, you use it in every means, every part of communication system you use, and coincidentally, it's part of the man's neurocommunication structure too. So you found a common ground. Copper is something we can do. But as I said, I walked you into another point where here I showed you separation of. And then further on, I even brought you more freedom of detachment. But in that process, I brought you into, again, what you are made of. You call it the water. I united all your energies in the water. Very fast you got to it because you could see it. You called it liquid plasma. And now, in a coming time, you will come to the reality of liquid plasma in the field plasma. And then, when you come to the field plasma, you understand something very simple. You join the universal community. The universal community is, works, understands, elevates, communicates in and through field of plasma. In so many ways, if you look at it, through the field plasma, you find your way to cosmos. And in finding your way to cosmos, you find your way to universal community. You are so easy to lead and to guide that without you knowing it, I already taken you where I want you to be. In the process, I have taught you many little things for you to be, to understand, to see, and in a very coming time, there are parts of the foundation who are working on where through the field plasma you create, you will have an eye into the life of universal community. If you remember, I explained a few weeks ago how to see through binoculars of the plasma fields the entities of the universe. You will see it this coming days and weeks. You can create the condition anywhere of the universe within the containment of your system to see, is this where I want to be? What would be my reaction? How would I evolve to be able to be there? And would I like to see a place somewhere in a space which is made of hydrogen only, or copper only, or mixture of other elements? I don't know. You learned about the transmutation of the element through energy, which is not even fully understood. The structure has been set, and those people who understood now have joined forces with the Keshe Foundation to evaluate this technology further. In so many ways, when we brought the liquid plasma, we approached the people who knew the work of it, but they could not stop the work of it because they were already using the liquid plasma. And it was very easy for us. Those of you who entered what we call the liquid plasma tests with gas water, you subscribe to it. I have a good news for you. Yesterday, we received approval from the Japanese government who's tested the liquid plasma in Fukushima. They have issued a license to the Keshe Foundation to send materials for testing across the planet for trials with liquid plasma. We've been waiting for it. Second certification comes through the Italian government, which was signed last week. So, as we said, we are ready to go. We are set to change the course of humanity. And the governments who worked with it understand it, with giving this export license on a specific condition for testing a liquid plasma, which is the most unusual thing if you don't know about it, but they've been using it in Fukushima, changes the course for us to start massive trials across the planet, sending materials for you to test, and with it, in seeing the effect of it, to start developing a new world of medicine. We thank the Japanese government for issuing the license, and at the same time, we thank the Italian authorities to releasing the certification of the use of these materials. For the first time, you come in touch with a technology which is nothing more than water, but has the energy and the effect of it, because we've seen the work of it in Fukushima, we've seen the effect of it in transmutation of elements, and in so many ways, in understanding the transmutation of elements, we don't rely on the elements, but we have found a common ground in finding a way to create what element we need at the point of need, the way our emotion allows it to be transmuted. This trial, which you have subscribed to, which you start receiving your materials in the coming days, now we receive the licenses, is in fact to show we send you the intention of the planet, your emotion and intention using the fields of your body will create the change on the skin, on the eye, or in the digestion system. It's very much like what we give you as plasma of the blood in conjunction with the plasma of the lymph in interaction with the emotional fields which received by the brain in the body leads to the creation of the cell of a heart, or the same lymph and the same blood in another point becomes the cell of a liver. If you understand more about the structure of the work of the plasma, about the interaction of the world of plasma, you will come to understand about the work of the man's body much faster and easier in a very three-dimensional way. It's very hard to work with this one. You looked at blood vessels. You looked at neurosystems. Go on the internet, open the book, and look at the neurochannels, and look at the lymph channels and the blood channels. You'll see they replicate. But one thing man has never understood, the master sits here. These two come, but continuous fields which radiated from the brain of the man dictates every cell of the man. Because this chap here sees the environment of the universe through this emotion and the cell. And these guys here only interact with the matter state. With this condition, it dictates every position. That's why you have such a huge brain. Does not need the neurosystem. When the three come together, the cell is produced. And each one has different strength, every fraction of a micron compared to the fields of emotion and the physicality flow of the lymph. And that's how the cells are created. If you understood this, in a space travel, translate the language, becomes very easy. You can take the shape of the environment where you appear anywhere in the universe. You can, if you set your system correct, be a cell, a man with 4 legs and 20 arms in one planet, with the same field in another planet, due to fields which you carry through your emotion, become a man who can live in the deepest oceans known in the universe. It's you who decides the position according to the case and the condition you set within the central neural system of the man, which is the soul of the man, is the controlling part and the feeder of the lot. If you understood all that, you have already become the man of universal community. Because in so many ways you realize you cannot exist at this point if you have taken too much or given that you destroy yourself to nothing. You find the balance sits in the correct conducts. You find that way, as you are peaceful within yourself, you create peace in the environment you are. And this is one thing the man has not done. In the coming time, in the coming days, we will show how we handle this in a very, very, very direct way. You all can join. It costs a few dollars. And then you can all start changing the condition. There are teams in the Keshe Foundation who are working for the target for Thursday. And one way or another, they show you the starting block. They show you the starting block to become part of the universal community. And how you do it from then on is yours, because we just show you the path. You choose how you want to manifest it. We show you how to build units which gives you energy, food, material, motion, simultaneously in the same system. And this is for you to be able to translate into what matter state or what energy state, or what level of the strength you want to do it. You want to create a system at the level of the emotion, matter, or soul. And if you use this one, which you very quickly, a lot of you will reach it, especially people from the Far East will reach this position very, very quickly. Then you can show the true color of the soul of the man on this planet. In a very short time. As you develop this technology, you will see the souls which are created in origin on earth. You will see the soul of those who influenced the ones who were born on this planet. And in that process, you will see the soul of those who do not belong to this planet too. 1 out of 3 of you walking this planet are not from here. And you have caused mayhem with this knowledge amongst this lot. It's time to leave or to change direction in bringing humanity to peace. You have thought those who you wanted to abuse man with the knowledge, meager knowledge you transferred. Now we transfer the full knowledge. Today is the day of reckoning. You all know what I'm talking about. You're aware of today. And in so many ways, your time is up. The passengers of the universe who took on this planet, you call yourself, you wear the clothes of the man, the same as we taught you. Now we know the technology you led by. We can see you like nothing. I have a very bad news. Rothschilds, those who stand as Jewish lobby, those who covered yourself with Illuminatis, your time is over. Your deadline is met. We give enough knowledge that the operation will be in the hand of every man. And this was the fear of those who've been in charge. Now, we teach man to be able to match your knowledge. So what you have has no more significance and is equal in all levels. Those of you who listen, understand the decoding, understand the reason, and those of you who try to play blind, soon shall be blinded with the knowledge which a man in the village can see and understand the difference between the true knowledge and how the knowledge is used to abuse. Please stay on Thursday focused, and if you need be, we carry on the following Tuesday or Wednesday till we reach a point that the number of you within a week can produce what we ask of you to do for yourself. Then you understand you have full control over the control of the elevation of the soul of the man. And then the problem is not yours. It's those who abused you, and now you become wise to abuse. Whatever you call them, energy lobbies, Monsanto, presidents, whatever, we start teaching the process of production of from the soul of the man to the matter of the man, from Thursday onwards. How you can elevate, how you can produce materials, you can produce conditions, and you can produce a strength fields which has no matter condition but in reality is a total space within the structure of the universe. You can replicate it. You can more or less bring it to the point that you decide how and who and what you want to see. We teach you how to elevate your own soul, that with it you find a perfect body, that death, which has been the fear of the man, shall not exist. The biggest controller of the man has been his fear of his demise. And with the teaching which we start this week on Thursday, we'll bring that position on, that you decide in so many ways how to elevate yourself, the soul, and then through it, if you want, your physicality to the level of the understanding of the universal community. The beauty of it is you become so free that the freedom will not allow you to become a slave to those who call themselves the leaders. Come in on Monday with a bucket of water, with your coils, go to the shop and buy some pieces, nano coat everything, and then you tell us slowly, how, what you see, and who you've seen, and how it is. It's not that you'll be talking to the soul of yourself, but you understand the operation of the soul of the entirety of the planet. With it, you elevate the soul of the man, and with it, we end up with the wars and all the conflicts in one stroke. The problem is not the technology anymore. The problem is if we have enough graveyards to bury those who have done wrong when they decide to finish their cycle of abuse. The biggest problem in the coming time is not the technology, is the man, if he can face the truth about what is done and how he has operated. It is very interesting in what and how we bring the knowledge of the universe in the hand of the man. And then we see how you, as part of the universal community, decide to deal with it. I have no problem. I've done my job. I share the knowledge unconditionally. I have given what it needed to be given, and very few world leaders will be amongst us very soon. If you hear accidental disappearance or the death of a world leader, you can understand exactly what they've done to themselves, because they know their hand is open. On the internet nowadays is about the affairs of the presidents and which group they belong to. In a coming time, their own words through their souls will be published. Then you understand. Very easily. The whole operation is and will be in your hands. You create the environment very nicely, very friendly, very equal, knowing that you cannot hurt no soul. You let the soul to speak the language of the body of the man. And you find out the soul of the president does not agree with the physical act of the president. And then they open each other's hand. And God help the man when the soul speaks. It'll be very hard. We teach you how to create these fields. We teach you how to create field in the strength of the soul very easily. The way we have shown the prelude of this in the medical application or in the pens. You've seen the fields. But up to now, you dealt with a very, very weak field. Now that you have managed to master handling of the pens, handling of the GANs, we step up to a higher strength. And then that's the emotion. And then once you handle that, we teach you how to handle the strength of the soul of the man, because again, it's made from the interaction of the field. And then we hear the truth about the man through his soul. And then God help the rest of those who are there, who have abused it. And hopefully, in the next few weeks, the cycle will go so fast because all of you want to see the soul of your mother who was not there, or your grandfather you loved. And in that process, you cross in the wrong way, and God help you, the whole thing opens up. The interaction is extremely easy, but how you do it is the choice of you and the choice of how you decide to bring everything into open. We don't touch, we just guide. And in guiding, we bring to you the totality. It's very easy. See what's on the board. One planet, one nation, one race. In fact, if you put all of it together, is one soul. With this technology, we make a soul of the planet to, in fact, bring out the truth about the planet. And as you know, when you have such a condition, what is wrong will pop out like nothing. We'll see those who claim to be the leaders for the peace, how they've been financing the wars. Crying wolf will not have a place. We see those who stand for all sorts of things, what really is happening in the background through the spokes and the talks of the souls and connection with it. The field of the soul to produce from now on is as easy as drinking water. For a lot of you who understand this. So if you remember, if you go back to my teachings a few months ago, I said the soul of the man will decide not to enter the spaceship because they know they cannot carry the ethos of the man in a space which is the ethos of the universe, which is peaceful and no war. You can't get on board and then create mayhem in space. The strangest thing is, if you've been with the foundation, and if you have worked around the foundation for the past at least 6 months, 12 months, you already know how to make it, how to make the system, how to use the system. And in so many ways, many of you have used it, but you never stop thinking how to, in reality, bring it together to unify man. If you understand it, the day of judgment, which is not the judgment of the physicality, but the judgment of the soul of the man with his physical condition, is upon us. We start the process on Thursday. When I heard about the death of Fabio, something came to me very strange because, just as I said in a couple of times since his death, when we left this office, just before we leave on Wednesday, I said to Fabio, there's going to be a huge change for humanity. He said, it's time for change. We are ready for it. And in a way, he knew man needs maybe another week to mature. And maybe that's why we needed this time. From Thursday onwards, we don't need to fight. From Thursday onwards, we need to give. And by giving, those who cannot receive it because the soul knows they don't deserve to receive it will pop up like nothing. Don't be surprised. By Christmas, you see a large number of world leaders will be in the coffin. They put themselves in there. They shall not be assassinated or whatever. But the soul, in being able to talk the reality about the physicality conduct of the president, will terminate his connection. And without the soul, there shall be no man. It's very, very simple. We give you the tools, and you use the tools to deliver the reality and the facts of creation. because go back in all the teachings. I prepared everything in very, very small steps all the way along. I spoke to you about the blood and emotion all the time in all the conditions. We spoke about the connection of the soul with physicality. And then if you understood this, now that you bring the soul in the presence of the physicality, he wants nothing to do with the president who's got his hand dirty with millions of debts. It's the soul which terminates the interaction. You will see heads of religions will be carried out of their churches and their mosques in rows because the physicality has no connection with the soul of the man. Because the soul has decided, has seen enough wrongdoing, now it's time for it to speak. Don't forget part of the teaching. If you have managed to create a free plasma, which in that strength of the free plasma is a condition of a peaceful man in physical life, and unfortunately, the religious man as a head of a whatever organization has organized many deaths and whatever.
Masakit. Kahit
Is Vincent open?
Sige, sige, higda, higda, higda. Higda lagi, higda. Higda, sige.
Who is open?
That was Randy C. that was open there. I muted it.
Brennan. Yeah.
Not Randy, Randy C.
Okay, no problem. So you will understand the implication of the technology. You have been walked without you knowing into meeting with your own soul. And then it's the judgment of the soul if he likes to carry the physicality. Because, as I said, the interaction, the set you set is a peaceful, and the interaction of the soul of the man in front of you creates a different color than you have. It means there is something wrong. Confession by soul is so peaceful that the physicality does not need to exist. This way, we end up with any kingship, because we become the king and we become the dictators of our own destiny to correct and behave the correct way. So, my friends, the day of judgment starts with you. A lot of you will fail to produce it because you know by producing these systems, the true essence of your conduct through your soul will manifest themselves. Because this time, if you understood, the soul has a strength as much as radio frequency of a certain bandwidth and the strength, and if you tune to it, you listen to it, and will tell you the whole story. The Snowden of the soul will be more devastating than Mr. Snowden himself. The knowledge, the information, you can record and you can deliver. Those of you who've been involved in all sorts of whatever which we have exposed you and you denied, in no time you will take your own choice. You've seen in the past when there was crisis, financial crisis, a lot of directors of the banks and institutes went on the balcony and took a dive. They could not take the truth to come out of how they've used the system and how they robbed. Now we see with the kings and the world leaders jumping off the cliffs. We've seen the first one some years ago, around this time, how chief of police did the same operation. Because they know the truth is there. We don't need to go on computers and download the files which are secret. We download the soul. There are no secrecy. I teach you everything to detail. A group of Keshe Foundation have already been taught the first steps and they are working on it. So it's not a hidden knowledge, but they'll be put together, and in the coming weeks you will see the progress. I encourage you for you to start building these systems from Thursday when we show it. Very simple. You will understand it. And then step by step we take you through it. Understand the condition. Understand having no fear in what you do, because what you do is according to the structure of the work of the universe. I call upon the universal community to assist mankind and humanity in this transition. You're among us and you understand the totality every time we've done this process. Mankind needs huge amount of support to go through this transition. We call upon the universal community to join us to see this harsh time through. Mankind will lose his leaders, and in losing leaders, for a short while, we'll go through the mayhem of lack of leadership till they find out they're the leaders of their own soul and the conduct of the planet according to the conduct of the soul of the man. We open the doors of this planet to universal community for interaction and support as is needed more than any other time. The Universal Council is in position and the core team, which is the backbone of interaction, is in place. We have no other choice, because in mass loss of the world leaders and people in trying to take revenge in what has been done to them will create a short-time mayhem. And then in that process, a lot will try to take advantage to create new conditions for themselves. And this is what we need, the support to be able to go through this transition. And humanity does not have the facilities for this at this moment of time. We have spoken the word and the souls have heard. In so many ways, we will start seeing the change. From today on and by Thursday, those of you who look for the physical change shall see the changes in the direction of our wishes. Peace, and those who are the man of peace. Be ready to attend a lot of funerals of those who abuse man. Because those who've been correct in conduct have no fear, but in fact their souls will elevate. Those who done wrong, plan mass murders. I direct my point directly to Rothschild family. I direct my point to the leaders of Illuminatis. We handle you on your own terms, and if you've been correct, you have no fear. We have given you the time, and the bell has rung. 2 more days, and we'll start the process. We know you listen. You are close business in what we do. As I said in my teachings, private teachings today, those of you who are the followers of certain path of belief, from Friday, you will find that you have no path to live. Because in the path you created to believe, you created the false hopes for the wrong reasons, and with it you have destroyed a lot. Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Keshe, there is a couple of questions. One in particular, Steve asked in the live stream, Mr. Keshe, can we please have the list of materials needed for the first day of the blueprint on Thursday so we can start right away? In October, I had to delay because of shipping time. There
is nothing to be shipped. You have everything at the board. if you made ganses, if you made coils, if you have a ping pong machine, and if you understood what we thought in past 2 or 3 teachings, you have everything at home.
Okay.
Everything. Our team in the background on Thursday will show you the blueprint. They will show how they do it. A couple of people who are working on it, they show their systems. And like the way we made the GANs and we made the systems of MAGRAVs, you start doing your own ways. You start elevating it and developing it your own ways and very rapidly. It'll be very nice to see the first one of you who manages to create the soul of yourself. Because don't forget, you are creator of the condition. So you should be able to see your own soul and the conduct of yourself in respect to your own soul, the day of judgment. Then we show you how to make tunnels, conditions of the universal community. Then, step by step, the knowledge of man up to now, whatever you gathered on the matter state, will be absolutely useless.
Okay, we have a question from Jay that was from earlier. He asked, does Mr. Keshe believe we as mankind knew how to use our minds to do this in one time in the past already? And if so, does he think we forgot? Was it suppressed from us by other mankind as a form of control? Or are we just learning how to do this now?
Can you repeat the question? Caroline distracted me.
Okay.
You know, these women have a special influence to distract them. We never notice it.
Right at the moment when you need to pay attention, usually. Yes, Jay asks, does Mr. Keshe believe we as mankind knew how to use our minds to do this in one time in the past already? I'm not sure what he refers to as this. It was what you were talking about earlier. And if so,
this has been done. This is the 3rd time. I explained this many times in the past. The problem which did not, the reason this did not make man a peaceful race, that did not propagate the way it was expected, because there was not a universal communication system as we have on the internet and the communication channels. This is the problem was, and now the problem is solved. We created peaceful nations, peaceful cultures, and they understood, they lived by it, till the others came that they had to protect themselves, and then the whole mayhem started again. This is the problem. This time, it's done right across the planet. No nation, no race, no color can say, we didn't know about it. Keshe Foundation is every nation, every island on this planet. There is not a point that we have not heard of. Enemies read more about us and write more about us because they know the time of the truth is over, that everything will be on the table. So the difference is, yes, we tried. We sincerely tried in the past. The failure was on us because we couldn't reach the total man at the same time, even though we had the knowledge to reach the soul of the man. But the physicality always diverted itself. But you got to understand, the evolution of the man on this planet is very complicated. It's not as simple as you see yourself with 2 legs and 2 arms. The evolution of the man on this planet has been and still is continuous production. While you think the race of the man is finished, there is no more, You are so mistaken. Even today, as we speak, new races of man is getting developed by the structure of the work of this planet. You have no say. There is no condition. The same way as you were created as man in different races and different positions, you think it stopped? Never stops. It's a dynamic atmosphere, it's a dynamic soul condition, and when they interact, they create life. And if the intention of the life is to be a man, whatever, it has created. The production never stops. It's the miserable misunderstanding of the man considering himself as the top of the chain, which has blinded them to the reality. As much as you see new plants, new flowers growing out of nowhere in the fields and in the jungles, so is life in the seas. New life, new style, new generation of the being is created on this planet every second of existence. And those who can go through the process and elevate, they become like the man. Man is not exclusive. It's just his feeble mind which has given him this false intent. So, yes, knowledge has been transferred. Tried very hard. In time, you will understand more. And then, if you are good at it, in bringing the souls of those who are from this planet, they even tell you who and how and the way, the culture, the information, and the knowledge was passed on, and who was the cause of blocking it. It's in the history of Iran. A man, very poor man, common ground, merchant, went to see a prophet. His wish was to become the richest man in Iran. And he said, with the wealth, I shall serve thee, whatever need to be. The wish was sincere. And the prophet said, your wish shall be met. And there is one thing which is in the writing of the same prophet. We test the gold with fire, and we test the man with gold. The man became one of the richest men in Iran, but he never broke his promise to his prophet. It's the same with you and your soul. You give a promise to your soul. If you keep it, you become rich in the essence of knowledge of the universe. The only time it fails, when you miss and or you abuse what you've been given. And we've seen that abuse in all the prophets of the past, be it the Moses, the Christ, Muhammad, and the rest. When they saw the elevation of their physicality through the information of the soul, they lost their position and mistakes were made. And the consequences are the races they left behind. We'll talk about this in detail in the coming days and weeks. But yes, we tried. We tried very heavily. The problem is, man has a fear of blood because without the blood he doesn't exist. And these people have used the river of blood to tame the man to the way they want. They used to put them in colosseums, and now they changed in the colosseums to churches and mosques and the rest. There they took their physicality, here they take their soul. So we end with the whole lot. Both is a stealing, one in one form and one the other. Any other question? Be prepared. The big change, so big that you even be surprised how big it is. Because it's so simple that its simplicity will create you a headache. You are waiting for the day of judgment. You will make the tools of judgment for your own soul, which a lot of you don't like to do. You become the judge of your own soul and your own physicality, and you will make the tools. This morning in the private teaching, I said, you will go through all emotions in one go, fear, joy, and everything else, because in the first instances, you create all the emotional strength fields in one go. Because there's such a narrow bandwidth of them, you will go and you create the fear of God in your life. Because you cross it in one go, because you are not aware of this bandwidth is the strength of my fear. This bandwidth, the strength of plasma, is my joy. And then you go through all the sound barriers of your soul in one go, with your emotion intact. You have to face it, you have to accept it, you have to live with it. And then you will understand the problem is very big, and the problem is you. Sorry to bring you to this point, but there was no choice. The time is short, and in so many ways, we have to do it this way because there is no other way. I don't know any other way to do it but this way. Because this way, there is less headache for me to do and more headache for man to work his own way. It's easier because this way you can't blame nobody for it except yourself and your own conduct. You can do whatever you like. You can blame anything you like. But in fact, it's you who creates the position, not me. It's you who will blame yourself for what you've done, not me.
Okay, Mr. Kesh, that brings up a question from Jay, who says, what if the sun's isotope thing that suggests it's getting lower in strength hits it soon and the communication fails, like has been suggested recently? This is said to stop or lower the field.
You're going too fast.
Okay, let me
go back from the beginning very slow.
Okay. What if the sun's isotope thing that suggests it's getting lower in strength hits it soon and the communication fails, like has been suggested recently? This is said to stop or lower the fields to the point where phones, etc., may not work. So maybe we will fail again because we don't have the communication or have learned it before we run out of time with Mr. Kesh, or everyone ends up just killing each other, or whatever happened the last 3 times.
You have enough time. Don't worry. There is enough time and there is no reason to break. I could not imagine by any shape or form last Thursday teaching would end up the way it did. But it had to, because it had to bring a change, and now we are ready for that change. There is a lot of misunderstanding about the technology because it was created to be, this was the way the mayhem has been used in the past. This time, you create a mayhem for yourself, not with us. There is no reason. If it doesn't go with the electricity, you can use a battery. Doesn't have a battery, you can create the field out of the motion of the fields themselves. My biggest fear is, in fact, the children of those who created the abuse will stand to give from their souls for the wrongdoing of the soul of their fathers. That will create a bigger mayhem. You will understand this in time. Everything will be there on time. You will deliver it, not me. The Keshe Foundation teams in the background know their condition and the position. They are working on it. You will receive the blueprint of it. We explain it in a very simple, most probably the shortest blueprint ever we run on Thursday. And then we'll let you to produce the rest of it. Create a condition where, in fact, a lot of you will not need to be judged because you have already judged yourself. We didn't create a new religion. We didn't create a new sect. We didn't create a new organization. It's called, you read on the flowers we put on the grave of Fabio, Keshe Foundation family. You are responsible for the whole of the family. A family is perfect when every member of the family gives a hand in elevation of the family.
May I show that picture, Mr. Keshe?
Of course. Do you want to share the screen? Yes, but we don't see it there.
Can you see it there now?
Yeah. If you open it up, you see it. I didn't go to the funeral as me, Caroline and I, Stanley and Ella and Giovanni, and maybe we went as a family of Keshe Foundation to represent you. We lost together, and this time we gained together. Maybe we gain the freedom of mankind from the shackles of the abusers. But you will produce the systems, not me. The process is very simple. The process is to understand the position. Anyone you know, any world leaders you have access to, any priest, any man who cares about his existence, tell them the process of the start of the day of judgment starts on Thursday, the 14th. And this has been the biggest fear of Jewish lobby, the 14th. Now we shall see. The biggest fear of today was today, and now today we have finished with it. And on the 14th, with the complete 2414 of the Kabbalah, you will understand. Let's see how it will change, but come prepared on Thursday and come with the joy that you can free yourself and many people from the shackles of the abusers by a simple process. And very few of you, once you link up, you change the condition of this atmosphere of this planet. You'll be amazed. We've done this before. You've seen it. It's on the internet. Go and look at it and see how it's been done. We need a very few. But if the fields created by very few is at the strength of the soul of a perfect man, the rest shall fall like leaves. Be prepared for world without leaders. Mankind will lose most of its world leaders, being the king, the presidents, Pope, Ayatollahs, and the rest, because The souls have done so wrong that in the presence of what you create as a perfect soul will not be able to stand. This is not the scaremongering. Once you start producing the system, you've seen the power of your pens. You've seen how you put gans of CO2 on your skin, which is burned, and within seconds there is no burn feeling. So it's the same energy. If you manage to take the pain from your physical life with spraying it, you'll manage to take the pain from your soul too. Very strange. Extremely strange. But you don't believe it. Create your CO2, put your finger on the fire, exactly what Moses did, and this time, don't put it in your mouth. Just spray it with CO2. You see its power, how it releases the pain from your physical life. On Thursday, we show you how to use it to take the pain away from your soul. Very, very strange. You walk to the slaughterhouse of the soul, not me. I just guided you. You've seen its power. Now we show you how you bring its power to its maximum to different levels. The beauty of it is, because it's the work of the soul, no one shall be harmed. It's those who are not conforming within it will find their physicality cannot exist within the new dimension. I just show you the tool. Don't forget, I'm a messenger. I just deliver the envelope. It's you who reads the message, and it's you who will carry on the instruction within the message, which is the message of your soul. You remember I told you President Obama might stand for a third term. This time it'll be his soul, not his physicality. He has to put a lot right what is done wrong. There is one thing for sure. In the American presidency election, you will not see Clinton in the office. Those of you who are familiar with the 11 days of my imprisonment in Canada, she signed the papers. We give her the same wishes.
Mr. Kesh, we have a question in the chat from someone called Just Dance, who says, how can one be sure if it is indeed one's own soul is the one is communicating with?
There shall be no light. If you understand this, you will understand it very easily. Because you create the replication of your own soul. You carry your soul, you carry a copy. At the point of reaching the balance between your soul and the soul you have created, there is no interaction. You'll find peace and the balance. Your intentions is to kill, but you want to say you're peaceful, your soul knows you're not, and the color will be red, because to you red is a sign of bloodshed. Then you know you are a are no Alcatraz and the rest of it that we put people in there, or prisons in the center of Siberia that nobody can find. The submission of physicality to non-existence by the soul, then the soul goes to the Rothschild family. To understand exactly what we talk about. There shall be no Rothschild left within the coming time by what we have released in the knowledge of the man. There shall be no popes and no Christianity, nor either Judaism. Because no soul wants to be connected with the soul of murders of the Moses. And the habit of the rest of the souls who have followed him, and we still see. There shall be no Jews. That word is erased from the books of the history of the man. Any other question?
I see a question from Milena in the chat. She says, why will so many repent to their own soul? For one can only forgive themselves and make new choices.
That's a decision between your physicality and your soul and the time of your understanding. There is no repent. It's how you elevate your position. In a coming time, when more and more of you create the condition, I said this, a lot of you missed it, when Ali started building the systems in Canada. We saw others. We've seen those who start creating intimidation and false information. People will jump to their own demise because they know there is not much they can run away from. We'll see. The time will tell in the coming weeks, as more and more of you start producing these systems. You produce free field plasma, which is exactly a copy of the free field plasma of the soul of the man. And then you create the free field plasma of the soul of the planets and galaxies. And that's how you will travel. It's not just the soul of the man. Soul of the man has a strength which is within the boundary structure of the amino acid of itself at the highest strength. If you understood what I said. Now, with these reactors, you create the gravitational magnetic field strength of the destination point within the reactors you build. Travels across the universes, for those of you who understand, will be instantaneous. You saw what I explained a few minutes ago. The fields and the intention with the field of the brain of the man leads to the creation of cell of the heart. Now you have the reactor, you put your hand out, your intention to produce gold. There will be so much gold on your hand that you cannot even you hold your hand out. Because now you understand. Diamonds and golds and whatever man has been so, what you call, dying for and killing for, will be so much of it which have no value. The monetary system will crash in the coming days because it's made on the false intent. We predict a huge chaos, but a huge comfort where the technology can deliver its potential in bringing peace to the man of peace and mayhem to the man of mayhem. The mayhem will come with the soul of the man, with his physicality, and man of peace find time to serve more. You will see. You will be shocked in what you create. I am just an observer. I delivered the package, I delivered the knowledge, and very much so, I'm like a DHL man. I'm waiting for you to sign that I can go. I'm ashamed to be in the physical body of the man because there's nothing in it but pain. You will have the full knowledge. Within the coming days, you can create whatever is your imagination. To you is portholes. You will see the whole structure of the universe. You can create it without leaving this. I told you I opened the universe not by you leaving, but opening the portal of this planet into the universe. And then is your decision. Can you live with such a beauty outside? Or it's too much because you are used too much to stealing and robbing, and there is no place for you. You'll be glowing red everywhere because you are a man of peace, but you have no intention but to create war to rob more. I think one of the first people to resign will be head of the United Nations. He has signed himself to so many murders in past few years. Knowingly, what was the intention, he allowed it to go through the United Nations. Knowingly, he signed millions to death. The head of United Nations should not be in that position. Claiming insanity will not count. Claiming I did not know does not count. That's why we have headed the Keshe Foundation and we have appointed Sandy as the head of Universal Council to be ready to take the position, as from now on the soul of the man will dictate, not the physical bank account of the head of United Nations. Let them wipe out what you call the live stream. Take the live stream out of the life of those who have caused this mayhem in the coming days. By you doing it, we just guide you this time to do it correctly. Does not matter who you are, the truth is out. Word is spoken, and we shall see the consequences. If we do it, they came and they did it. Now we let you do it, you got nobody to blame. Make sure you come with a good bucket of Gans water, made of every kind of Gans. Then make sure you come in with a good intention. Make sure what you come in intention has been your true intention all the way down the line in your life, not just by changing the last minute. All the Swiss bank accounts you filled in with murdering the others, commission, all the children you abuse, and you organize things, all be ready for it. There'll be plenty of palaces and very expensive villas empty, ready for sale because there are no occupancies. The king of, or the queen of England will abdicate. There shall be no Buckingham Palace because there's nothing but pain in that palace. It's case too many murders. There shall be no Vatican. As it's written, too much pain for too many souls. People will flatten the holy places of the churches and the mosques and the synagogues because they realize they've been the source of the pain for man. No one will submit the way we destroyed the statues. Now we destroy the places they call the places of worship to abuse the soul of the man. You wanted it, we delivered it. Now we see how good you are in delivering your side. You wanted to come to space and leave this planet and become in touch with your ETs. The ETs has become your Ts. It's the time of execution. We execute our wish. Sorry to be so blunt, but in so many ways, we have delivered what you wished, the knowledge. And sometimes the application of the knowledge brings a lot of hardship. But the transition is very rapid, extremely fast compared to the past thousands of years. And the man will leap into it. You get used to, there is no abuse. You get used to, it'll be a shock for a lot of you when you see the peaceful planet. And you ask yourself, how come we couldn't live like this so many years? Why did we create so much mayhem? I advise the Chinese government to sell all the American papers because they're worth nothing very soon. You will understand why. There is no nation on this planet that carries so much blood on their hand. And that goes with the whole blood of the whole nation's soul. There is no royal family than the European royal family with so much blood on their hand. The same goes with the Rothschild family. It's a celebration of the freedom, not a war with warmongers. We bring the freedom because the man needs it. Man has suffered enough in the hand of people who were given the knowledge to raise the soul of the man, abused it to slave the man. So let's see. Let's see how you play the game from Thursday onwards. You will understand the physical condition of it, and within weeks, all of you will create the fields of it, and within a few weeks, you all decide the rest of it. Now you know why I've been telling you very soon I stop teaching. Because I've taught you everything to become man of space. Now it's you who has to decide you won't go to space with your physical body or with what we teach in the coming days. You travel with the soul of the man across the universe and you manifest yourself according to the point of the manifestation in the physicality of the man. Sorry about this, but you all knew sooner or later it'll come. Those who've been close to the foundation of my work, you knew this is about to come. This knowledge, this point of transition, this point of change, you all knew is about to hit the man. It's just that you were hoping it will not be now, but now is as good as any time. All the knowledge is shared. You all have brought in your beauties of sharing knowledge. A lot of you have learned and taught yourself to make systems and Ganses. A lot of you brought your soul into the work of the foundation. So now it's time to be able to take the fruit of this beauty. I teach you and I've taught you everything which you need at this moment of time, but not the whole knowledge of universe, because man is not even ready to understand a fraction of it. But for a time being, is good enough. That we take you and we open you in the world of the universe. Any other question? We needed the 4 days of the gap. And now we needed to bring it to this point that we separate the physical material life from the work of the universe and the soul of the man. And on Thursday, we start the work of the universe because you all have followed the work of the physicality. Now it's very easy for you to follow the work of the soul and the space technology in the deep space travel. It's combined, it's interactive. You cannot separate it. You cannot separate it. The sun, when it shines, as I've said in the teachings, creates a plasma for motion, and the same plasma is used for energy. The same plasma in reduction becomes the earth, and the same plasma after reduction further and interaction becomes the body of the man. So now you understand how to make that sun. This is the abuse of the Keshe Foundation. We'll come to this on Thursday. We'll come on this. We see a number of people abusing the name and the logo of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute because it's their habit to steal on the internet, calling themselves professors of the Keshe Foundation Institute. We have only one professor in Keshe Foundation, and that's Benjamin in the University of Ghana. And we see them losing the logo, and they, to confirm their stealing, they put, as was said by Mr. Keshe. Welcome. Any other question?
The only other thing I've got lined up here is a picture from Jackie. It will elicit some response. I'm not sure if it's quite appropriate right now. It's some kind of what looks to be a GANS material. Shall I show it? Carry on with
working on that, yes. As you know, Jackie represents a very strong scientific lobby on the Keshe Foundation. We all know. So let him show what he has done. They do a lot of good work, but as their work, they have to be respected, because in the long run, we all become one.
Okay, let me share it here.
He knows me now.
Okay, there's the There's the picture. It's quite a conglomeration. It either looks appetizing or totally not appetizing, depending on your perspective.
Rick, let him speak to tell us what it is.
Yes,
Because he developed part of this with my suggestion a few weeks ago, and let him expand it further how far it got if it's a part of the same process. Is Jackie there? You could allow him to come in.
I'm not. Yeah, he should be there. Go ahead, Jackie.
Yeah, it's exactly the same that you explained me, and this is the continuation of the word of the creation that you speak to me. And
Can
this
you
is
explain to us what is this part? Where are we now?
so at the beginning it was different gases, and then this is the reduction with the hydrochloric acid. And then I put some magnesium, some calcium, and different things. And then I harvest the things with the carbon stick and some iron and a little bit of current, and it creates a lot of different elements. So for the moment, I don't know exactly what is inside, but it's really strange to see this creation.
Is it still growing like a being?
Like a what?
A being. Let me explain what was the intention with this.
Yeah.
Or you want to explain?
No, you can explain.
Originally, this goes as part of the work we did with Marco when Marco was here. Marco started with Marco. We started the development of the brain structure, which is still running here. We still have it in the background. And come in, sit down. We have youngsters with us from Austria today. Klaus is here with his children and the future generation. Sit down. If you sit down, then I can go there. What is this? I don't want to bring you in the picture. Caroline, can you sit a little bit further back, please? Or move here. Move on this side. Then you're not in the picture, please. If you look here, I can go down. This is the beginning of this work. This is the work we did with, to go focus on it. Can we put the camera on, please? And then we come back. You got to stop the screen sharing, please. Yeah. This is the beginning of the work we did with Marco about a year ago, over a year ago. We tried to create a condition for life, but only the emotional part of the life. You see the meters, the power supplies are running in the background. Everything is in white. I can't touch it because then we disturb it. This is the best way we can show it. And what is with it is we went into the process of eventually creating the condition of a brain. One, he started with the zinc. And as you see, we just created zinc oxide. Then we had a calcium salt in it, and then we add potassium salt into it to create exact structure of the brain. If you look at them, they're white, they're live. We still produce the liquid of the brain in it, which is we add continuously water to it. It's nearly over a year. And we are watching it. How does this brain develops? Has no physicality because we haven't introduced any copper into it. We kept the copper out. We created condition of the brain. When you look at these containers sideways, you see in some places when it's closer to the brain structure, you see exact copy of the layers of the brain, how they create, how they come in. And now, following that process of just creating a brain of the man, and we can carry the emotion of the man, Jackie went to the next step in creating the physical part of the man without the brain, or in a way allowing the brain to find its place within the physicality. These pictures we cannot really show much. I can go as close as possible. Can I pinch there? Oh, he's locked it to here. We cannot move it. Can I go forward? I can go as close as possible. Is there any much cable? How much cable can I go forward? If you look, I try to go as close as possible. You can see these are, if I turn it sideways, you see the structure on the, can you put the lights on please fully? On. No, doesn't, we see it. When we look on the side,
It's a little out of focus.
Yeah, it needs to be focused, Mr. Kesh.
we need to focus. I leave it to,
You just set the camera back on auto focus or auto exposure or something.
yeah, we leave it with Stanley, he's here. So we start seeing the layers of the brain. The only thing which is not in this structure, very similar to the natural condition, is not spherical, like the pressures of the brain. And in so many ways, we see the interaction of the layers of the ganses in different strength. You see different structure with more potassium salt, you see different structure with more calcium salt. This is the replication of the brain. I've done this before in different way, but with Marco, we set up to do this. This experiment will go for a few years here too. We understand eventually the production. And then the next step for us is to put in a spherical core and see how the brain will flip open to the top, floating in the water, and then how it starts taking shape. We need to have a calcium-based, not a copper-based sphere. Literally, we need to, in a way, if we find a human skull and we bring it back and repeat the whole thing, we'll see the brain to be developing inside it. With Jackie, we've gone the other way around. We've gone in introduction of the physical part, which is the blood. And then we have taken both the vertical people and the horizontal people. With vertical people, Jackie has only introduced magnesium. With the horizontal people, he has introduced iron and the rest to replicate the blood, the skin, and the rest of it. And this is what you see. We have to see what's the evolution. Is GANs, so it creates a huge dimension with very little matter state. If you want to share your screen again, please, Rick. You can take us off the camera.
Okay, let me get it here.
Then what we see here is we haven't put anything on it. This is what I said. Because in this process, you listen to a word which Jackie says. Very passive. He put an acid in it. It already had a salt base. So it replicates the structure of the stomach, which is acidic, and then it creates the condition of the lymph, which is what they call alkaline. The process of the life of the man, transfer of the energy is from acidic to alkaline, and that's how you transfer energy across. In the test we done, hopefully next or this week, the Innovation Center will show you, we don't do anything, but we can change an acidic element into alkaline without more or less doing nothing to it. Is the conversion. Here he's used magnesium, iron. There is acidic condition. This is a replication of the human body structure. It still needs copper of more salt. And if we add a potassium and a calcium salt to it, we should start seeing white structures in this, which is the beginning of the bone structure. So we give it to come out of gel into a structure like a bone, which this material now will attach itself to it, and this is what we call human body structure. We attach muscles to something solid, we call it the bone, and the intention of the man who puts it together will dictate the shape of the entity. in the other test, do you have the pictures from the other side? There is another one, which is greenish in color.
I don't think so, unless Jackie can present that.
Yes, I can.
This one, Jackie has gone for development of vertical people, which is vegetation. Life in a vegetable condition, which is again green because of the magnesium and every other thing which is added to it. Can you show us your green life?
Yeah. I have a lot, the green line.
With the green, we saw some structure like a bark of a tree, the brownish.
Yeah.
So we understand how the tree creates its own skin and the salt condition in the presence of other things. Can you explain to us what you put in the vertical people, please?
Yes. But the more interesting it's the last one, because we see more on the amino acid. You can see the development of the amino acid, because I have made 10 different setup, and the base, it's every time the same. It's on every time it's a mix of different gases, then the acidic, and then I add some calcium and I add some magnesium. I had some different plants, and I make a lot of different setups, and every time the structure in it, it's totally different, and the creation of amino acid with the time become really nice. And this is, you can see the white structure with the red, and this is the last picture of what I get in different amino acid. This is, you can see here, it's become more like green in the top. And after it's evolved, this is another setup with different combination of amino acid. This is another one with another combination. And this is the, now how it's become red, and some whitish at the top. And we see the fat creating, and on the bottom of the container, it's become totally green, and the whole structure is totally changing.
Because the amino acid, as we said, on the leaves of the plants is where the plant takes its energy from the environment through the fat which creates through the interaction of the layers inside the leaf. It feeds itself on protein which it creates from the interaction of the gases of the planet. So this fat is in line with what we understand at the moment with the creation of support of life. With the green stuff underneath. The green is the tree, the leaf, and this fat on the top, what you see, the amino acid, confirms the correctness of the science. As we said, if you go back in the teachings in the past, we said that the plants absorb the interaction between the layer 2 back and the front. It creates a condition of CO2, which, as you've seen exactly on your CO2 box, interacts and creates amino acid on the top of the box. Here, the plants do the same, and they use this amino acid to take the energy for their growth. There is something which is done here, which you don't see. At the beginning, when Jackie starts with this process, he subjects the liquid to a short burst of energy. Would you like to speak about this, Jackie? What do you do? How you create the voltage, how you apply the voltage, please.
Yeah, at the beginning, I just put a charger car battery, 12 volts, and I just give an impulsion to start the process. And what I realized at the beginning, it's really strange, because I just realized the interaction with the materials if we are in an acidic or in an alkaline solution, because when it's acidic, the zinc, it's really powerful and gives so much energy, and when it's alkaline, it's more with the copper. So after I put the voltage, I just realized that we doesn't need any voltage. This is the opposition of the fields who can create so much energy. And yeah, this is a lot of experimentation, and I can just show you a short video that show the power that we have in our container, because just 1 second, here we can see it's this video. So this is a mixing of different gases. I have put some hydrochloric acid, and at this point I just add some bicarbonate of bicarbonate de soude, and when you just add, you can see the reaction that will create.
What is this you added?
It's bicarbonate de soude, sodium bicarbonate.
Yeah. You got to realize how the life has started on this planet, as if you go back to the other teachings we've done, is the gaseous part of the planet, which is the hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon, in coming together to interact and become part of life of the first cycle, they need an extra energy in boosting the first level of life, which, for example, is the life of the man. And that boost of energy, short term but very sharp, high voltage, is delivered through the conductivity of the metal, which means when the what they call the hemoglobin is made with the interaction of the gaseous with the metal side, the thunderstorms, the lightning, the amount of the energy which is delivered at a given point by accident due to conductivity of the metal which is connected to the gas, because it was itself as part of the gas of the upper atmosphere, is part of it, creates the first spark of life. And with everything else being present, that's how life has started on this planet. And if you have a condition where you can deliver a high, not electrical current, but this a plasmatic current of the atmosphere into one position, the way Jackie introduces a high voltage and takes it off, has been delivered by the planet itself to start the life. If you study the behavior and the growth of the plants, where the lightning has hit the forest, you will understand exactly what it means. A new cycle of life, new structures get created. If the lightning, through the conductivity of the element, which is just happened to be is the structure which creates a hemoglobin, and then the lightning of a high voltage plasma has hit, then now you understand how life of the man is started on this planet. The rest of it is a sequential of the same process. There was no battery to put in there to create the first life. The energy needed is delivered by the earth itself, just by coincidence of the thunderstorms or lightning or what you call the interaction between the fields, delivery of high energy at the amino acid level from the atmosphere, and absorption of it by the plant or by the planet matter state of it, which is triggered this first cycle of life on this planet. And you understand, if this has happened before with the higher plasma levels, now it's the same. In some cases, we still create a high plasma level delivery, and so life is continuously produced on this planet. These tests, this knowledge, slowly opens the truth about the life, how it started on this planet. Now we understand it. And you see, you don't need much. And the structure is becoming so big because everything you see in this process is a gas process. It's not a fermentation. It's condition of the matters, and the entity not only receives the matter from what is in it, now that it's created a combination of the gravitational magnetic field, now it starts absorbing elements from the space of the environment. Iron, copper, whatever its gravitational field is, like the way it's created the amino acid, now it creates a structure. Till reaches a point of balance, and that point of balance is the skin. Then you see skin structure sealing, and then internally it starts to develop. Thank you very much, Jackie. Anything you want to add?
No. I just want to add I live for my soul.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Any other things you want to show, or shall we call it a day for today?
I don't think I have anything else, Mr. Keshe, immediately here.
Thank you very much for being with us today. There is a possibility tomorrow's teaching for the agriculture and the medical, I will not be here. The teaching still carries on. Dr. Klaus and Dr. Otto are here to support the teachings. We might have to be in the hospital with Naomi, and we got to see what we can do, what is available in the new science that can change the position in the hospital for Naomi. So the life is precious. She's one of us, and we are here. Dr. Klaus has joined us here at the center. He's brought a lot of backup equipment, medicals that we can use if the hospital allow us, in conjunction with Naomi. And if I'm not here tomorrow, maybe on Thursday, we might not be here partially, but we start the process of it, or we will do it remote. We all see what happens. Thank you very much for you being with us in these international teachings. The international teaching today is the last day of it. We put it as part of the what we call the Thursday teachings, and Tuesday teaching after the 15th of September, when we come back, is for the space people. We are bringing the World Space Organizations to be with us. We teach, and it'll be recorded as before, and then it'll be shared with different space agencies when they join or when they come in. It'll be very highly technical, direct into the points, changing conditions, space, deep space travel. And then it's the beginning of the bringing of the students who register to become Mojans. We bring you in as part of the space because you become part of the space technology of the Keshe Foundation. And then we bring you together in a given position to start the full development with the spaceship people on the ground, and we'll see where we go. Thank you very much for being with us, and hopefully we meet each other on Thursday, and hopefully we bring balance into human race by delivering the totality of the knowledge for you to be able to understand it, make it, and in doing it, you help yourself to find your own position in the universal community. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you so much. Once again, this is the 23rd International Knowledge Seekers Workshop for July 12th, 2016. As always, thank you everybody for attending. Okay, we'll end the live stream now.